John Cena and Dwayne Johnson had remarkably similar starts. Both came from the WWE, and both were dismissed as actors when they first transitioned to Hollywood. But in DC, they had very different experiences. On paper, their paths looked nearly identical, yet the outcomes were worlds apart. And the difference boils down to three key factors: ego, acting skill, and how expectations are met in execution. The first and most glaring difference is ego. Ego can shape a character, influence a studio, and determine the trajectory of an actor's career. Dwayne Johnson's ego is notoriously massive. During his Fast 5 days, he included a contract clause that guaranteed he could never lose a fight, which explains the absurdly precise tie with Vin Diesel in that iconic sequence. Every punch they delivered matched the other in count, which defies logic but illustrates his insistence on invincibility. That attitude carried over into Black Adam. Johnson's character is unstoppable, defeating the entire GSA alone, taking down the main villain immediately, and overpowering trained soldiers without powers. A human anti-hero who struggles becomes a robot instead. The vulnerability that defines DC anti-heroes was absent, replaced with an impervious figure who cannot falter. Superman in James Gunn's universe, by contrast, is immediately humanized with defeat, reminding viewers he is fallible and relatable. Johnson's ego didn't stop at invincibility. He admitted in interviews that he blocked Black Adam from appearing in the first Shazam movie, originally planned as a climactic confrontation. He convinced Warner executives that his character was too important for another movie and deserved a solo film. This level of self-importance borders on absurdity. It is like a lesser actor trying to dictate the fate of Superman's villains, insisting the story bend around his persona. In 2025, James Gunn revealed that Dwayne Johnson tried to take advantage of a power vacuum at Warner. He wanted to dominate the studio, star in a Black Adam vs. Superman film, and even become CEO. His ego influenced decisions across multiple projects, and he pulled collaborators, including Henry Cavill, into his plans to strengthen his control. Johnson pushed for changes that prioritized his character and personal ambitions over creative vision. This behavior created tension with directors and studio executives and interfered with the collaborative process. His focus on dominance overshadowed storytelling and undermined the overall success of the projects. John Cena took the polar opposite approach. From the start, he accepted his role and understood that no one was taking him seriously as an actor. Rather than forcing his vision onto a studio, he praised Gunn for casting him as Peacemaker, fully embracing his supporting role within an ensemble cast. Cena's humility allowed him to adapt, follow the director's guidance, and shine in a way that felt earned. His character faces real consequences, suffers defeats, and displays vulnerability, creating an anti-hero who is human, relatable, and flawed. The first cut of the Suicide Squad had Peacemaker dying, and Cena had no problem with it, demonstrating an understanding of storytelling over personal glorification. Gunn kept him alive, not because Cena demanded it, but because the performance merited it. This is ego versus merit in action, and it is a stark contrast to Johnson's approach. The second factor is acting ability. Johnson is undeniably charismatic in action roles, capable of charm and humor in the right circumstances, yet he is typecast and often plays variations of himself. Black Adam required a tragic, nuanced figure who grapples with personal loss and cultural displacement. Yet Johnson delivered the same expressions across emotionally pivotal moments. Whether he was mourning his son, reflecting on his nation's fall, or confronting Superman, the performance remained flat, stripped of the vulnerability needed to connect with audiences. The character became a symbol rather than a person, a living, unbreakable rock rather than a man navigating moral complexity. John Cena's acting is not flawless, but it shows versatility, adaptability, and depth. Peacemaker starts out reflecting Cena's wrestling persona, bold, confident, and occasionally overbearing. Yet beneath that exterior is a character with humor, vulnerability, and insight. In the first season, Cena delivers comedic moments that feel genuine, even in light-hearted scenes. While effortlessly moving into emotionally intense moments, he balances charm and pathos, making the character relatable and engaging. His performance allows audiences to see multiple dimensions of Peacemaker, from bravado to heartbreak, creating a fully realized figure who grows and resonates throughout the series. One memorable scene features Cena playing the piano in silence, communicating heartbreak, vulnerability, and physical clumsiness simultaneously. By season 2, he escalates to an emotionally raw scream upon witnessing a horrific death, evoking empathy and demonstrating true range. The contrast is glaring. Where Johnson's characters often feel like caricatures, Cena brings humanity to his roles, allowing audiences to invest in the narrative emotionally. The third factor is expectations versus execution. Johnson's Black Adam came with massive hype. Months of interviews, teasers about Superman, and promises of a universe-altering experience set the bar extraordinarily high. Fans were primed for a monumental cinematic event. And while the movie contained impressive action and solid visuals, it fell short of the narrative and emotional resonance promised. For Black Adam, expectations were sky high, and the movie could not fully deliver, leaving audiences underwhelmed despite its action sequences and visual effects. In contrast, John Cena's Peacemaker arrived in a context where no one assumed he would be the standout, giving him the freedom to surprise viewers. His appearances in the Suicide Squad and the follow-up series were unexpected highlights, allowing fans to connect with a complex, flawed character without the burden of massive pre-release hype. The modest expectations meant audiences could engage with the story naturally. Cena's nuanced performance generated organic momentum, building interest in the character through skill and personality rather than aggressive promotion or overblown marketing, ultimately turning Peacemaker into a fan favorite. These three elements, ego, acting, and expectations, interact to explain why Cena succeeded while Johnson faltered. Ego shaped Johnson's characters into impervious forces, removed from humanity, and limited his collaboration with directors. Acting constrained his ability to translate a complex narrative into relatable emotion. Overhyped expectations ensured that audiences would scrutinize and judge harshly. Cena, on the other hand, approached his role with humility, embraced direction, and showcased a surprising range of emotional and comedic skill, all while allowing the story to unfold naturally, free from the burden of inflated expectations. Johnson's Black Adam suffers because his character is dehumanized. The inability to fail or falter creates a cinematic disconnect. The narrative demands struggle to foster investment, yet Johnson's invincible persona short-circuits. Tension Cena's Peacemaker, however, thrives in imperfection. He gets beaten, makes mistakes, and displays vulnerability, providing dramatic weight and relatability. Where Johnson's character feels imposed upon the audience, Cena's emerges from collaborative storytelling, reflecting the vision of the creators rather than the demands of a superstar ego. This pattern extends far beyond isolated performances and highlights a broader truth about what separates enduring characters from those that struggle to resonate. John Cena's approach demonstrates a rare kind of professional humility and adaptability. From the very beginning, he embraced collaboration, integrated seamlessly into an ensemble, and prioritized the integrity of the story above any personal ambition. He supported existing narratives, listened to directors, and trusted the creative process, allowing his character to evolve naturally within the context of the world around him. This approach mirrors some of the most successful examples in Hollywood history, where actors who temper their own ego and focus on narrative cohesion often leave a lasting mark. When performers subordinate personal glory to the story itself, they create roles that audiences remember, admire, and emotionally invest in for years. Dwayne Johnson's career, by contrast, is a cautionary tale of the pitfalls of ego-driven decision-making in high-profile projects. There is no doubt that he possesses extraordinary talent, charisma, and global recognition, and his presence alone can draw audiences. Yet when he attempts to dominate narratives or assert control over entire studios, the consequences are often detrimental to the storytelling process. Audience reception reinforces the gap between the two approaches. Peacemaker became beloved not because of aggressive marketing or positioning as a central figure, but because viewers witnessed a character brimming with flaws, humor, and unexpected depth. Cena allowed the character to breathe, to falter, to reveal humanity in a way that felt earned and authentic. Black Adam, by contrast, commanded attention primarily through Johnson's star power rather than through narrative resonance. Critics frequently noted the monotony of his performance, the absence of vulnerability, and the formulaic progression of the story. Peacemaker, by contrast, defied expectations, combining humor, emotional depth, and relatability in a way that created genuine engagement. This success was achieved through collaboration, respect for the story, and a willingness to place the character within a larger narrative rather than imposing dominance. The distinction is clear. Humility, adaptability, and commitment to narrative integrity can elevate an actor and a character, while ego-driven choices may limit resonance and leave audiences unmoved. Even on a cultural level, Cena's approach resonates differently. Peacemaker integrates into the broader DC universe organically, enhancing the narrative rather than overshadowing it. The character interacts meaningfully with others, faces tangible threats, and evolves emotionally. Johnson's Black Adam, by contrast, exists as a spectacle, larger than life but disconnected from the emotional stakes that ground other DC narratives fans might admire as strength. But empathy and investment are harder to summon when the protagonist cannot be challenged or humanized. In summary, Cena's rise reflects strategic patience, collaborative artistry, and genuine talent that grow with opportunity. Johnson's faltering in DC underscores how ego and rigid self-conception can undermine even the most bankable stars. The trajectory of these two former wrestlers demonstrates that success in the superhero genre is not guaranteed by fame alone, but by the ability to inhabit characters fully, respect creative vision, and manage audience expectations intelligently. John Cena's DC journey is a masterclass in humility, skill, and timing, while The Rock's missteps reveal the hazards of overextension, invincibility, and self-prioritization. When ego, acting ability, and audience expectation align, a character can transcend hype to become genuinely beloved. When those elements clash, even a global superstar can falter. The narrative clarity, emotional range, and willingness to serve the story are the invisible forces that determine whether a role becomes iconic or forgotten. Cena embodied those forces. Johnson did not, and the results speak for themselves. And that's all for today's video. Thank you for watching till the end. We would like to hear your thoughts on both actors. Share your thoughts in the comments section. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We'll see you in our next episode.